Welcome back to the Stoop football fans. It's your boy Lolo. I am here in the basement for another Friday night happy hour, but this isn't just any Friday night happy hour, for tomorrow is Christmas Eve, the eve of Christmas, but the eve of Christmas Eve is Festivus. What is Festivus? A lot of people may ask. Well, let me just tell you the story of Festivus, as told by Frank Costanza, the father of Festivus.
You want to bring Mark in for this?
No. Okay. We're doing this.
Cheers anyway.
But first and foremost, let's get those beers ready for this story. Cheers. And John, I got the Budweiser holiday can going on. There you go. So what is Festivus? A lot of people ask. Well, Festivus comes from the television show Seinfeld. I don't know if any of you all have ever heard of this show, but it's a fantastic show. And George Costanza, one of Seinfeld's best friends, his dad was Frank Costanza. And Frank Costanza is known as the father of Festivus, and he tells the story like this. Many Christmases ago, I went to buy... should I try and do it in his accent, John? Okay, I'll try a little better. Many Christmases ago, I went to buy a doll for my son. I reached for the last one they had, but so did another man. As rain blows upon him, I realized there had to be another way. The doll was destroyed, but out of that, a new holiday was born. A Festivus for the rest of us. Is there a tree, you might ask? No. Instead, as my wonderful jumper here shows you, there's a pole. The Festivus pole. It requires no decorations. I find tinsel distracting. It's made from aluminum, very high strength to weight ratio. The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances, which we will begin shortly. And at the Festivus dinner, you gather around and tell them all the ways that they've disappointed you over the last year. And as Festivus rolls on, we come to the feats of strength. And until you pin the head of the household, Festivus is not over. So someone will have to come over and pin me, but it's not happening. I'm telling you, you're all too far away. But happy Festivus to everybody, and happy holidays to everybody. We love celebrating this silly little holiday, because it has something that Christmas doesn't have, which is front-facing airing of grievances. Usually during Christmas, you subtly air all your grievances until nobody's speaking anymore. So we're just going to go ahead and get all that. But first of all, we've got to thank all of our supporters. First of all, one of our biggest supporters is Cray-America Industries. They are doing business as usual. And a lot of our proceeds go towards the Human Fund. That is money for people. So Vandalay Industries is another one of our big sponsors, and Kruger's Industrial Smoothing. We don't care, and it shows. So thank you to all of our supporters for that. We love you guys. And we got to say, he was hoping it disappeared beforehand, but this is massive, and I'm a little shaken up. I'm a little verklempt. Mr. Tom has donated 100 pounds to us, to On the Stupid Lolo. Thanks for a year of awesome content and tolerating my nonsense. Have a drink on me. Make sure John gets one too. Happy Christmas, everyone. Happy Christmas to you as well, my friend. I can't wait for you to jump on the show so I can make you blush in person. But that's awesome, Tom. We know you support the show in so many ways, being on the show, always being in the comments, even being on the comments when you're on the show. And, we all have days where we feel good and where we feel bad, and you show up. You show up and you do your thing. So much love to you for that. And much love to all of the Stoopers who participate year round, especially to Director John and my lovely co-host, Mr. Mark. Let's go ahead and see that beautiful ho.
Hey, happy Christmas, everyone.
What's going on, man? Festivus. I'm getting all sentimental.
It's going well. Now don't think you're safe in your bunker, because I will come over. I will remove my loose-fitting clothing, and I will pin you.
Well, the show will not end until I get pinned on this nasty asbestos-ridden floor down here.
What do you mean by that?
That the floor is riddled in asbestos?
The floor, my friend, is lava, and if we keep on going in our trajectory toward anti-climate legislation, it's just gonna get hotter.
Happy holidays to you, Mark. And dude,
Happy
we got
holidays
through
to
another
you,
year, and
and
actually, people might not know it, but we did begin our show midway through a season. What, 3 years ago now? And so we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary.
Did we start the same time as Mikel Arteta? Did we start roughly around? I want to say
very, very close. I believe we started in January. Like, we started with the second half of the season.
Right. I do believe we started after Christmas
about 3 years
as well,
ago.
because I think I had met Anisha and her husband that like 2 weeks prior, 3 weeks prior. And, you know, for those of you that don't know the story, and I'll make it much shorter than the Adele story. I
guess I have
meet
time
Lolo
to pee,
at our neighborhood bar, and he comes up to me, and as we go through our pleasantries, he says, "Do you watch Premier League?" And I'm like, "What?" I and he's like, "No. It's English football. Do you watch it?" And I was like, "Well, I've watched the World Cup." He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, there's a match tomorrow. You need to watch it, and then you're going to come over and we're going to shoot our show, because that's the new show. Is we're doing Premier League football.
And I need you as my co-host."
And this part, you know, I knew fuck all about football. I still know fuck all about football, but goddamn, I enjoy it, and I owe a lot of that passion, a lot of that love to this man, to my screen left, right, whichever. You see him on the screen there, and each and every one of you Stoopers and Stoop crew people, friends and supporters, who have not only cajoled and ribbed me along the way, but also taught me a lot. And so there, if we're getting emotional and nostalgic during the holiday season, that's about all you bastards are going to get from me.
It's like, who spiked the eggnog already? Like, we're already all teary-eyed. John's changing the channel.
I wish I don't have the stomach for eggnog. I've always hated it. It tastes
I love
sour.
Eggnog. I get mad when people spike it. I'm like, I will gladly take shots.
I like
leave my eggnog alone.
Or is it colhita? What's the Puerto Rican?
Cotica? No, that's
something,
cheese.
Something like that.
It's like a coconut one. Yeah.
Right. Scooby-Doo is asking me if I'm happy about this $50 million or 50 million pound Mateus Cunha. I know nothing about him except for that he's 23 years old, has worked with Lopetegui before, and he actually can find the back of the net. So if he can continue to do that for Wolverhampton, I won't have so many black and gold grievances. Or orange, or black and gold grievances.
All right.
That's what I got.
Well, there you go. You're kicking off the football talk a little bit earlier than before.
Then Mark, we'll reel it back.
No, before we get to our guests and bring in our guests on, Mark, I want to give you this time. Do you because we've aired our non-grievances. Let's air some grievances here, all right?
I thought we were waiting for everybody else.
No. I mean, because you may not get a chance to talk unless you're talking over everybody. But so
and that will be my New Year's resolution, is that I will do my best is to allow everyone, because I think like fragmentally. You know, I think fragmentally, I don't get everything out all at once. And I go, oh, wait a minute, I forgot to say this. And then it's just too late and someone else is trying to prove a point. Graham Wood Robinson says that Lopetegui will save the Wolves, and I think so too. My grievances would be directed toward the front office of Wolverhampton. How do you go into, like, what was it?
Hold on, Mark, hold on. You're doing this wrong. You have to begin by saying, Wolves front office, I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're gonna hear about them.
I didn't realize that this was kind of like a prayer that you actually, it's like, Red Rover, Red Rover.
There you go. I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're
I got a lot of problems with
All
you
right, Mark.
front office people of Wolverhampton, and now you're going to hear it. How the hell could you have allowed the squad, the team that you run, go from being 6th place and a shot chance at 4th? Now I know that was it was a little bit of a stretch at the time, but you were doing so well, and then the season kind of got away from you. There were some injuries. There's always injuries. Everyone deals with that. I mean, Arsenal's even the top of the table is dealing with injuries. But how do you go and revamp your entire team? You get rid of some of the, what could arguably be one of, not the best, but one of the best backfields in the Premier League, and Connor Cody, Roman Saiss, who was fantastic for Morocco in the World Cup. And Connor Cody, Saiss, you get rid of Dendoncker, who could also run that back three. He was a great, very versatile player. You get rid of all of them because that is what the manager wishes. And then a month and a half, 2 months into the season, you sack them. And then you wait 30 days, 36 some odd days before you get somebody new in. How the hell do you allow your organization? How do you do that to your fan base? How do you do that to that organization? That's what I want to know. Now fight me. You're muted or something, Lolo.
The aluminum pole was thrown down. All right. Mark is angry about that.
Taking off my loose clothing.
There you go. There you go. All right, my turn. Arsenal. I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about them. Arsenal. My Arsenal, the team that I started supporting however long ago. Listen, you are giving me nothing to complain about, and that's making me very angry. I am so used to complaining on a daily basis about our manager, about our team spirit, about our fans. I am pissed off that I have nothing to complain about. The only thing I have to complain about is that you allowed one of our really, really good players to go off to the World Cup and injure himself. And that motherfucker got injured. And now you're off looking for new talent to fill those gaps. You're not supposed to be doing that. I'm supposed to be saying the window is closed. Our team is shit. What are you doing? So now, Arsenal, I got a lot of problems here because you're building me up. You're building me up. You're putting me here. You're putting me here. And I know you're going to bring me down here at some point. So I'd rather just spread out the anger as opposed to it all collapsing at the end of the season. So, yeah, it's nice being at the top of the league, I guess.
Well, it's been a fine season. It's been a fine season. I posted.
We're not even halfway through. We're not.
I know. But I posted on someone's, on someone's Twitter feed. I'm not really sure who it was. My Chronicle can attest to it. But I think even with the injury, I think you guys are going to come really close to winning the league, if not winning the league outright. And you don't need no João Felix, and you don't need no Mudryk or whoever the fuck it is. I think you guys are going to be just fine. I think if you do spend any money, please spend it on the midfield.
Yeah,
spend it on your midfield. See. You don't really need, because you've got a lot of firepower still up front, and you can move anybody into that striker position.
Yeah,
if
looks like he's going to try.
If Eddie doesn't work out, I mean, you could move Martinelli into that striker position.
That's what he's trying to do there. All right, so let's bring in our first guest. He's been here the longest, waiting for us all to get here. Let's give it up for Ben Ireland from York, Leeds United. What's going on, Ben?
Happy Christmas, happy Festivus. I'm good, mate.
Yeah, man,
How are
I
you?
don't know if you saw, but one of your guests backstage actually gave you a physical clap there.
Oh, I can't see.
No. I think you're mistaken that he gave him the clap. It wasn't a clap.
That would be
The
Mr.
clap.
Tom who gave you the clap.
Cheers, anyway.
Cheers anyway for giving me the clap. That's all right. Ben, how are you,
Mark.
man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm all right, man.
I've been
Gotta
moving
say,
the.
when I was trying to figure out all my grievances, I was like, well, I'm not too angry at my club at all.
I know you
Feels-
sort of
feels
threw me
very
when you
weird.
said Arsenal. I thought, what have you got to complain about?
Exactly. I all I can complain about is that I don't have anything really to complain about, and yeah, there you go. Oh, Messi on a
I'm
stick.
sorry, but he is the GOAT, hands down. Argument settled.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and bring on Mr. Tom as well. Mr. Tom, very good to see you. Thank you first and foremost. Thank you so much for that kind, not donation, but chunk of change.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Thank you. We'll stop talking about it. Good to see
I
you,
think
Tom.
someone
Are
stole
you
your identity then?
Excuse me.
Are you full of grievances today?
I've got a grievance to air. How does it go again? I've forgotten.
Ben, you're ready for you to air your
Oh,
grievances.
Yes, and it starts.
Yes, but there you go.
I got a
There
lot
you
of
go.
problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about it. Starting with Mr. Tom. Why is the mug empty?
Oh,
I was gonna say the same thing. So we're all
For all
gonna
the
air
poor
that
people
grievance
in the world who don't
that
have
the mug
anything
is
for
empty
Christmas.
unless it's like a midget wrestler and it's hanging down in the cup.
No, I'm glad you asked.
They have no patience, Tom. No patience at
I'm
all.
glad you asked. Turbo Man, baby.
Turbo Man. What?
Turbo Man.
The
From
movie
hit
that was
movie,
based off of
Jingle
Festivus.
All the way.
Is
Yes.
Is that movie? Is it from the movie?
Yeah.
Yes. It's
I think I saw that.
It's an actual replica.
That's
Turbo
cool.
Man, baby. I'm not
Nice.
Did
taking
you open
that
that early,
box,
Tom?
'cause that's-
No,
Did you
no,
open
you
that
shouldn't.
early? Or have
I've
you?
had this for 7 weeks for this moment. Long-term planning, baby.
Wow, that's
So-
awesome. Did you have to fight anybody for that?
I tell
Did
you
you
who
have
I
to
didn't have
rain
to fight
blows on
anyone
anyone?
for. Booster. Because nobody likes you, Booster.
We've got Amazon now, so it sort of takes that little bit of Festivus away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So can
I
I
watched
finish
it.
my
I watched
grievances anyway? Yeah.
All right, Ben, let's finish your grievances.
It starts with referees and VAR. I'd like to point out all the grievances I have with them, but there's far too many. And to Jesse Marsh and his penis ball formation at Leeds. I'm sick of us getting beat and conceding goals at the back post. So they're my grievances. Other than that, I'm looking forward to a happy new year. Happy New Year with football and a happy Festivus.
Hold on, you just said penis ball.
Yeah.
I've heard of the Gegenpress,
4-2-2-2.
and I've heard of Mourinho ball.
4-2-2-2.
What is penis ball?
4-2-2-2. That's what
I
it
see.
plays.
You'll see how it's drawn on Google.
It narrows. We play narrow.
we-
4-2-2-2.
I worked a restaurant gig, and the way the floor plan was designed, there was a section that was particularly tough, and we called that cock and balls.
Well, okay. Penis, willy, and cock. Well, there you go. All right, Mr. Tom, it's your turn. You ready, Mr. Turbo Man? He's completely taken up. Doesn't fit in the cup there. Rob Colton, good to see you, Rob. It's all in the shaft. Mr. Tom, you ready to air some grievances?
I have a couple.
All right.
I've got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about them. FIFA, you sons of bitches. Why did you not bring the ball out for any of the matches with the little car? I demand the little car. You cunts. Fucking pricks. You can't even get the countdown before the game's right either. I mean, yeah, your tournament had no crowd trouble, and in theory, it was one of the best tournaments they ever put on. But go fuck yourselves. No little car, no likey. Yeah. So just, yeah. Can I keep going? Because
Yeah, please do.
You can keep going, or we can do this round robinly.
I've got a list, all right? No, wait a minute.
Of course, he does in a very sparkly journal.
I've got a list, yeah. Manchester United, you cunts. Fuck you. Goodbye. Lionel Messi, you are not the greatest of all time until you can win Tottenham a trophy. That's the challenge.
Very good.
That's the challenge. Anyway, no, seriously, he's awesome, obviously. I'm just saying, win them a trophy, and then it's proven.
A grievance. I get you.
Yeah. Come back to me because some of these are a bit spicy.
Okay.
I've got a grievance with that gold journal. What the fuck is that all about?
It's a gold sequin journal.
Brought Batman.
Also. All right. We're going to bring in our next guest here. He's been patiently waiting backstage. He has grievances against all of you. It is Gary. What's going on, Gary?
What's going on, Gary?
I'm doing good. But why do I have to go last?
Because you turned up last.
That's
the
not
order,
no.
the
I
order
don't-
you turned up.
You go first in your show, so.
You turned up at 16 minutes past the hour, and I know you did because you always say hello when you turn up. So
he's got
Sorry.
the timestamp.
I know.
No.
Damn.
And you did
Gary-
send me a message on Twitter saying you're running late.
Are you getting
No.
paid for this?
I still don't get why I'm last, but all right, I'll go with it.
I think
No,
it's
but
a
Gary
race, I think.
understands, like, why
Yeah.
show up at 7 if these guys are going to talk for 15 minutes?
Yeah, you don't let me in anyways.
It's because you live in Jersey. You
Ah,
see how we treat Chris? He's Dirty Chris from Jersey, and he always comes on last. Why do you expect special treatment?
because I'm Gary, I'm a little different.
Well, we know you're a little different.
you are different to the four of us, yeah. I mean, too far, too obvious.
No, you did
No,
good. You did
sorry.
all right.
Sorry, I'm just gonna have
No,
another
for
one
me-
of these. Sorry.
Quick answer for you, Gary.
Yes, sir.
I went first because fuck all of you, and Mark goes second because
Fuck all of
where he
you, yeah.
goes. And Ben was here backstage before any of us.
Any of us, exactly.
Just chilling on his headphones. And
It's funny you
Mr.
say
Tom
that.
gave us £100. So
Oh,
To all
damn.
you
what are
UK
you
people
bringing
in
to the
words
party,
of,
Gary? That's the
Boy
big
Castle.
question.
Dedication.
It's funny you say that because Ben was like, I'm backstage. I was like, you ain't getting on the show for another hour though, right?
Exactly. In fact, I think we kicked the ball off rolling pretty early. I mean, by now,
No, I'll be
you know.
fair.
We was late.
I'll
We
be
was a
fair.
minute late.
No.
We was all chatting away.
I'll be 100% fair to Mark and Lolo. It actually was timed at about 54 minutes before Ben got on. So
There you go. We did let him on early. It's Festivus for the rest of us.
it's great.
So,
Yeah, it's Festivus. Yeah.
yeah. All right, Gary,
What are
do
your
you have any?
grievances, Gary?
What are your grievances, Gary? You ready to air some?
I did make a list. So yeah, let's do this.
Let's hear it.
Let's do this. Yes, I hate all you people, or I got problems with you people. Whatever I'm supposed to say, I don't know. As you can see, I got a new backdrop here. So for my friends,
I
Hang on,
really
hang on
like
a
that
minute.
you
We
put
can notice your
the
backdrop,
topless,
but
you
you
know,
can't read the thing on the screen that was
That's
put
us.
up for you.
Who's that
Exactly.
fat prick? Oh wait, that's me.
that is you. That's you and our man.
Dude.
But anyways, I'm upset with this. I guess football god. All right, his son is hurt. His son's not going to come back. When is he going to come back? Easter? No, too late. We need him back
Are
soon.
you talking about Ruben Neves?
I don't know who that is. Who's Ruben Neves? Does anybody know who Ruben
We're talking
Neves?
about the real Jesus.
He's
thought you were talking about Junior Firpo.
midfield Jesus.
I don't know who that guy. Do you know who that is, Lolo? I never heard that name.
Never
before.
heard
You
of
would
him.
take
Never
him.
heard of
You
him.
would take him in a heartbeat for 40 million. And yes, you
Yeah.
would.
But he couldn't take me down, and the feats of strength demand that he needs to take me down in order
Gary,
for
have
us
you ever
to
seen
give a shit.
Jingle All the Way?
We're
Yeah,
not
also,
looking at that.
why
now,
why is
sorry.
Middlesbrough still hurt again? He's hurt. He's still hurt. Zink is still hurt. Come on. We have Jesus on our team, and we can't get these guys healthy. Come on, are they supposed to cure the ill and all that stuff? Come on, dude, help us out. What was also? I guess you guys probably have talked about this, but what was that Salt Bay guy doing on the field? That was just for in the world of football. That's just terrible, very terrible. Why is he pulling a trophy out of a hand of a man who just won it? Blood, sweat, and tears.
Are you familiar with him?
He does stakes up with gold and shit.
Salt Bay was an internet sensation that made a bunch of money and opened a series of extremely expensive restaurants. We're talking like $300 for like their lowest price steak, and maybe on occasion he'll come out and sprinkle some salt on it. Well, I guess the guy that came in, the guy that runs FIFA came in with a group of people, and they just threw down, and Salt Bay was there, and he comped like a $40,000 check, and with bellies full and minds filled with alcohol. I'm sure a deal was struck where it's like, yeah, you can come down, and then Salt Bay probably charmed his way onto the field, and the rest is undesirable.
Charmed
grievance-filled history.
Does any part of that dude scream charm to you? He looks like if you looked up a dickhead in the dictionary before you saw like circumcised, uncircumcised dickheads, you would see him like a picture of somebody who looks like that is a dickhead. He just looks like a dickhead. I don't know. And yes, Macronomical's totally right. Mark, he doesn't cook the steaks. He comes out and brings the steak and does this and throws salt on it.
I completely agree, but there was something charming about him for within like a month's time to gain 15 million followers who just watch videos of him sprinkling salt and slapping meat. We've been doing this for 3 years, and we don't have 5 million, 10 million, 15 million followers.
They're idiots.
There is something. There is a charismatic allure or a charm about him that has got him there. Let's be honest.
No,
I think charm is the wrong word, Mark.
Planet.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. I have a new grievance.
Oh, Jesus.
It's time for me to air my grievances. And I know we said, we're going to try and keep this football, but I got to say, this has really been bothering me for a long time. And it's how much Mark loves Salt Bay. It just really, he finds him to be the most charming person that he's ever met. And I just can't fucking deal with it.
Mark, you're canceled. Mark's canceled. Cancel him.
Do you mean 3 minutes?
Cancel Mark. Mark, you're canceled.
Ladies and gentlemen, of all of you who may be tuning in and share this far and wide, we'll put up a poll. And if y'all decide that I'm fired, then I will step away from the microphone. And if it should Wolves be relegated, I will have my own show called On the Crapper.
Listen, Mark,
with Spawny Mark.
Mark, you're allowed to find whoever you want charming. I tend to think, I don't know. Idris Elba is quite charming. The dude who plays Lupin. Very charming, quite charming guys. Brad Pitt even, charming. You think Salt Bay is charming. I'm just like, that's your choice.
Yes, it's
just
true.
Don't bring him over tomorrow when you come over.
If you're out there, If
Salt Bay shows up to my Christmas party tomorrow.
How many of them 15 million?
And if he brings about 10 pounds of tomahawk steaks, you'd be like, hey, cool, come on in.
The motherfucker would. You know how charming he is, Mark? If he showed up to our party tomorrow and brought 15 pounds of tomahawk steak, he would charge us for it. The fucking cunt.
He doesn't pay his stuff.
That's how. Yeah, he doesn't pay.
I don't know anything about.
He's got so much litigation on him for unpaid things. It's
I don't know that. So, But yeah, I could. I was really surprised. It was actually kind of gross, almost as gross as a certain Messi tattoo.
Oh, the
Yeah.
dick.
You
Tom,
are
put
going to
your head
carry that.
over.
You're going to carry that around for the rest of your life because
What?
you just no, man. That's the World Cup.
Yes.
Oh, there you go, Tom. You look fucking weird.
Tom is the
Tom.
goat.
I am
There you go.
fucking
All right.
weird.
I'm gonna step forward with a bit of a grievance.
Oh, good. I have another one.
I got a lot of problems with you people, and you're gonna hear it from me. And you people, meaning those that have been like slagging Argentina because they won. You know, I'm seeing things online that there's like, you know, there's a sign up sheet, a petition to replay the match because Argentina cheated. Look, man, you know, winners win and losers make excuses. Argentina won. That's it. Move on.
Hang on. How did they? Who's saying they cheated, and how did they cheat?
I'm just reading it in the different social media era, and just like how like everyone's hating on Messi, and I'm not a big fan of that. You know, I'm not a big fan. I've got a problem with people saying.
So don't read it.
You know that Argentina winning was a farce and they didn't deserve it, and
Of course they deserve
Messi's not the greatest. I said it from the beginning of the World Cup. Messi wins this, it puts the debate to bed, and that's what happened. Winners talk, losers make excuses, and that's what you French fans are doing. You're making excuses for why you didn't win. And you're talking Mbappe, and you're talking this, and you're talking that, and all it is you're flapping at the gums and making excuses.
How did little Sonny take it?
Oh,
he was not happy. He
bawled
was like
his eyes out. I felt bad. I gave him a little hug, and he told me that I guess like 3 weeks before the World Cup, his grandfather, who is French, passed. And he really wanted Team France to win in homage or honor of his grandfather, and to come so close, and it come to penalty kicks, and you just, I mean, it was a battle. I mean,
look, YouTube 4 years ago,
we said it on the show. You know, this is a game that you hated to see a loser.
I think France won the Tiddlywinks World Cup, so that should honor him. There we go.
Right. Let's just hope Argentina wins the Rugby World Cup, so that guy that mistakenly placed his bet on the rugby team rather than the football.
Speaking, Mark also mentioned that Messi tattoo. Did you guys see it? Do you know the one we're talking about?
I've seen various variations of this.
This is a tattoo that's
it's mind blowing, my friends. It's absolutely mind blowing.
I think it's now.
Is that
it doesn't look like a trophy.
The World Cup looks like a veiny arm or a veiny penis.
Yeah,
that's exactly
it
what
dick.
it looks like. And given the angle, Messi's getting a rim job while he's at it.
It looks like
he's gonna squirt himself in the eye. It's like when you put your finger over the water fountain.
It looks like somebody made a bet with Hancock, and he. If you saw Hancock, you know what I'm talking about. But
I've seen that movie
in the jail cell. Remember that? Because I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was sticking out of their mouth.
Yeah, that's really gross. And this one is this next
kind of content from Gary.
This next one is less of a dick, but just like You know, this guy spent like $200-$300 on this tattoo and hours in the chair to get this on his back.
What?
It's like a Ronaldo-sized.
He got fat Messi.
Wow.
He didn't know when he said, "Can I have? Do you want extra large or super size? Super size. You got super size me."
I want Messi to look super buff.
That's super size me.
He's like, I want the photo of Messi winning the 2058 World Cup.
Can't even see it.
Yeah, with the futuristic World Cup, because that don't look like the World Cup.
Well, because it's
got
nail varnish on as well. It's got nail varnish on.
I thought you wanted
Argentina to win in 4 years' time.
He has nail varnish on.
I thought you wanted the Messi when he won the lifetime supply of McDonald's.
That's like Ronaldo now, isn't it? The other Ronaldo sat in the stands like once the greatest player in the world. Now he's just like massive.
That year he was at Barcelona.
Has Director John
Before
got any
your time,
grievances?
That only 100 images.
Nah, not at all.
No,
Nah.
Life's pretty good,
life's
you know.
great, man.
You want me to
like that.
delete some of these images and stuff?
No, I was just shocked that we have 100 up there.
Well, I put a lot up.
No, I got this one. At least somebody got one that's halfway decent. This one actually looks.
That actually looks really great.
That looks pretty good. He's a little Oompa Loompa in the face, but it's all right. It's all right. He's got the eyes. He's got the attitude.
I like down at the bottom that they had to write FA World Cup as if, hey, we didn't know what that was.
Yeah, you don't want it to be confused with the Carabao Cup.
Is that actually on the trophy?
That's actually on the trophy in green emerald.
It is. But it just looks like he ran out of room or something.
But what's awesome is that wasn't the moment that he was given the World Cup. That was the moment he was given the best player in the competition, and he snuck a kiss of it. So fucking fair play to that one. That one's a decent tattoo there. Can we just does anybody else have any grievances that have popped up in their heads? Because I have one, but
I guess I have one, but it's not a crazy one. But kind of was hoping that City would take a little bit of time before they started thinking about like playing like we expect him to play. Haaland maybe not scoring for a while. He made it look a little too easy, and I don't like that. Or Liverpool's really, really bad, and that's good too. But City, the way they played, that game could have been like 6-4. Somebody's as I've heard. I missed the chances that were missed in that game, but I'm not liking that. I was hoping City would take it easy because I think they play Mr. Tom's team and Ben's team in a couple of days, and I'd rather them not be in any kind of form.
I'm right with you there, mate. Right with you.
Yeah.
Well, to give you a little bit of background on them, I watched a lot of that match, and Darwin Núñez should have had a hat trick.
They put all three wide,
and the assist, so he should have been responsible for 4 goals. He had 2 1-on-1s with the keeper. Didn't even make the keeper make a save. Dragged him wide. Just no confidence in front of goal. Did everything else right. And then just on that last one, he was looking for a pass. If he just blasted in the top corner or even dead at the keeper, maybe something happens.
I think the pass was there anyway. On the last
the pass
one.
was there on the last one. There's a chance it could have been cut off, but either way, Liverpool could have had that game.
Yeah,
of course, Haaland should have had a couple of
assists.
De
Bruyne would look like he was on form, right? I mean,
De Bruyne looked.
He basically just said, "You don't have to do anything. Just stick your head there, put your foot here, and guess what? It'll go in. Don't worry."
De Bruyne went, "Watch! I'm going to show everyone in Belgium how bad the Belgium team is, because I'm just going to ball out the same way I've been doing."
Fuck Belgium! I'm playing for City.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think more importantly, it just showed that it's been a while since we have been treated to, top fit, top form Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, it's been a while. He got injured just before he got injured by Rudiger just before the Euros. And he got injured again in the Euros. This is something that I've been waiting for. Say what you will. I mean, I'm not exalting the virtues of Cité, but Kevin De Bruyne is probably one of my favorite footballers out there, and it's good to see that he's finally in form and his being a threat to the ability of Arsenal to win the league aside. I'm looking forward to watching a fully fit and in-form Kevin De Bruyne, especially with the tool with it, someone like
to be that way with
to pass through.
I used to be that way with Aguero. He's not a Leeds player. I used to, and I felt a bit for him not winning the World Cup with them because he deserves it.
No, but he will get a World Cup medal. They had him signed on as an assistant. As cool. Like a coach or something. That's why it's okay for Aguero to be grabbing the trophy and doing fucking selfies.
It's very strict who's allowed to touch that trophy.
Obviously,
yeah, there's rules to it.
Apparently, you have to be a waiter at a steakhouse.
Well, that's one.
It was
thing.
very
They
strict.
said you have to be either a World Cup winner. Or
a steak dinner,
or the president of FIFA a free meal,
or a person of like what do they call it, a dignitary or something from a country,
FIFA employee that's been given permission. Yeah.
Or a waiter from a steak restaurant.
I love the wording, like when they're like FIFA are going to open an investigation into this. Should take 8 seconds. Gianni, did you let him in because he gave you free food? Yes.
Yes,
investigation
I did.
Done.
Investigation over. What are they going to do? Fine him? Like, what the fuck? You know what? Let me air a quick grievance now that we're talking about Salt Bay, and I say now meaning for the past 30 minutes.
You know where that vote is going to be? That vote will be in the guy's restaurant.
In his restaurant, and this time he won't cover the check.
Exactly.
Let me just air a little bit of a grievance that I've been watching all week long when I've been watching videos of content creators like us who have more popular channels than us. There's none like us, but they have more popular channels than us, and they've been getting on this whole Salt Bay thing, and I understand that, and that's cool. It's good content. It's good shit. But then they say, I've heard from multiple accounts, and I'm not going to name names right now because fuck them. They say, if I was invited to the World Cup final as a content creator, as who I am, just who I am, as a popular content creator, and they invited me onto the pitch, I would say no. If somebody handed me the trophy, I would say no and not touch it. I would back off and give Argentina their moment. And I just have to say, that's fucking bullshit. If you were invited onto the pitch, you would run around the pitch ecstatic. You may not be as bad as Salt Bay going up and grabbing Messi's arm, but I'm sorry. If they're like, hey, you're invited, go down to the field, go celebrate with the team. Maybe you would be there behind the scenes like, oh, this is fucking amazing. And if fucking Angel Di Maria brings you the trophy and goes, hey, you want to touch it? You'd probably be like, oh, awesome photo. Let's go. You wouldn't grab it like that. But to say, oh, I wouldn't even go step down onto the pitch. I wouldn't. How dare he? He should know better. What the fuck does he know better? He knows nothing. What he knows is throwing salt and making money, and that's what he's been doing. So, yeah, there's a lot of like, yeah, Salt Bay's a dick, but look at him. He's a dick. Of course he's going to go down there and do that and grab Leo Messi like, you don't know who I am? You don't know who I am?
He's an opportunist.
I'm just saying, for those content creators who are trying to play it, be all high and mighty and say like, I wouldn't even go down to the pitch. I would know my place. You don't fucking know your place.
If you got me that close to the trophy, I'm touching it. I don't care whether I'm allowed to or not. I'm touching
if somebody brought it by me and one of the players was like, hey, I'd be like, oh my God, are you fucking... Yeah. I mean, it would look like a dick in my hands. Because
you would be doing the Emmy Martinez.
I don't blame him. I blame that he was allowed to do it.
I would have snatched it.
That's why I'm not mad at Salt Bay.
Usually you
Salt
have
Bay
security.
is who Salt Bay is.
No, but think about it. Think about it. If that was, like you said, if that was a content creator and they were doing the exact same thing that Salt Bay was doing, he would be on the ground tied up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He basically tried to strong arm the trophy out of a player's hand. I don't know if he was doing an interview or taking a picture.
that sells.
I would have
750
snatched it,
ad steaks.
ran off with it, and stored it in the safest place in the world where no one knows where it would be, and that would be Mr. Tom's dungeon.
I was going to say something a lot less PG than that, so I appreciate Ben for suggesting something, so I
It's
didn't
like-
have to.
But
I
Mr.
didn't know
Tom
where
does
Ben,
the
I didn't know where
opposite.
Ben
He's
was
the
going with
driver.
that, but I was a little scared that it was definitely not PG, and it definitely would have required warning. This is not suitable for the youngins of the world. But
Colton's right.
That whole soul bait thing. I mean,
as Rob is saying here, that it's the fact that he goes towards it and he's pestering the World Cup winners. Yes. And no one is doing anything about it.
I was embarrassed for
no
him
one's doing,
when he's
no one's
Messi
doing
and that.
anything
It was
about
cringeworthy.
it. That's the problem. Nobody's doing anything
But we'd
about
all
it.
do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't
The one
grab
for
at
me was the
Messi.
one
I'm
with
sorry,
I forgot what player it was. If it was Di Maria or whoever was standing there with the trophy in his hand, and he's like
Lisandro Martinez,
and he's trying to nudge him out of the way so he can get his hand. I'm like, what if that play? Like if that was in the Premier League, he would be on the ground, and I'd be a player.
And
would put him
Lisandro
there.
Martinez is such a fucking
Does
little
anyone really
bastard.
remember the guy
who
snuck in the Man United picture in the Champions League?
Yes.
The fan, he was fully kitted up, ran on the pitch in the Champions League and got in the photograph.
Yeah, he's in the team photo. Yeah.
No,
that's funny. That's not.
But I think
was
Rob
that the
Colton
99 final.
Rob Colton is pointing
yeah.
out something. To me, this isn't really Salt Bay's fault. He was doing what he
It's his
does,
fault
which
that he's
is be a
cringy.
dickhead. No, he's cringy to begin with.
What
Just
it
look
is,
at him.
It's his fault that we're talking about this.
No. It's not his fault.
It is.
I might be the one person to say it's not. If somebody had to allow him on the pitch, and somebody was told don't stop him from touching the players.
I bet he wasn't the only non-Argent. Well, let's say dignitary on the pitch.
Yeah. Well, I was just
going to say,
the only
one that made an ass of himself. So he's the reason that we're talking about him.
Yeah.
Now,
I was just going to say that's like putting Pookie in charge of the drug house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Chris Rock.
Well, something bad's about to happen when you put Pookie in a drug house undercover.
Are you referencing The Wire?
No. New Jack City.
No.
New Jack City is one of my favorite movies. I can watch that thing over and over again.
I've seen it. I've seen The Wire.
God, for a second there, I thought you were
Money.
referencing the Jersey Shore.
Oh,
He's
I
a
don't know.
Cash
Is there
Money
a
Brothers
character on there named Pookie
That's
or
Snooki.
something like that?
Snooki.
Oh no.
I've worked with Snooki far too many
I think
times.
I would much rather refer to her as Nookie because she probably got a lot of it on that show.
Her name's
may
Nikki.
I say we haven't addressed any comments yet?
Oh.
Which comment? I've been trying to address the comments.
Has anyone got any grievances in the comments?
Rob Colton is absolutely right on a lot of this, and to me, it's not as shitty as Salt Bay is. That is who he is. So the fault lies in whoever let him on the pitch and whoever told them to not fuck with him.
But we know whose fault it is. And he's leading the investigation. So nothing's going to happen.
Oh, good.
So we're just literally wasting our Friday night investigating something where we know who's at fault and we know nothing's going to come of it.
This is like, I hate to say it, but I mean, I don't hate to say it because it's my opinion, but like when we heard about all the Louis C.K. stuff, where you're like, oh, Louis C.K. he masturbated on his belly, staring at a fellow person who he was like, I'm being gross, and did that. Did that shock you?
No.
Well, no, because
No.
I've watched everything Louis C.K.'s ever done, and I'm like, that seems par for the course. Not saying that he should do that. Not saying he's in the right for it. I'm just saying, like, that seems. I know a lot of comics. That seems like something he would.
I've not been shocked.
Right.
I've not been shocked since 9/11. That was the last thing that shocked me.
What happened then?
New York. That was the last thing that shocked me. So
9/11. You live in Brooklyn. You should know.
9/11.
You should know that this is
That was
just
the
like
last thing
New Orleans
genuinely
I like to
shocked
call
me.
it
and
11/9,
Hurricane
because that's
Katrina.
how it's written.
The
Yeah.
moron wasn't in Brooklyn in 2000.
No, he wasn't. I was actually visiting Christine. Flew out that morning.
We've got a guest in the back room.
Yeah,
But,
let's get him in here. We got Mr. Arsenal himself. Let's get Ryan. What's going on, brother? You
Hey,
finally
what's going
dared
on?
to
Welcome to the
dive
show.
into the waters of happy hour. Welcome to it.
You let Ryan in here?
Ryan's
I
been
gotta go.
backstage.
What do you
Ryan's
want?
been
I'm leaving.
backstage listening
I'm
about
leaving.
Salt
I
Bay
see enough of
and
him already. Now you got
masturbating
him
on your
Friday
stomach.
nights. You're killing
Welcome
me
to
here.
the football show.
Go, what do you rather, me or Liam?
All right. I got a better of the two.
The
Thank you.
lesser of two evils.
Are you the better looking one?
Ryan, do you know everybody on here? Does everybody know Ryan?
I've seen some of Ryan's stuff. So
Ryan,
yeah.
I think I know you via Twitter, but that's about it. Well met, sir.
So here's Mark, Wolves fan right here, my lovely co-host, and then Mr. Tom further on, Leeds United fan, Ben below him, also Leeds United fan. And then, Gary right there next to you.
Alice in the middle.
Do you know about Festivus, Ryan?
No.
Oh my God, Ryan, my man. Okay, well, Festivus is for the rest of us, and it's a Christmas tradition as made famous in Seinfeld. But a big major part of it is the airing of grievances, where you yell at the people who are around you. So, is there any grievance that you have? Premier League, football, refs, players, managers, other teams? Anything like that, this is your chance to straight up. We're going to put you full screen, and you can just yell at whoever you want.
No pressure.
Yeah, and if you want to yell
you can
about
take your-
Salt
no,
Bay or
take
Louis
your time.
C.K., you can do that too.
You
I've
just
got
let
a
me know when you're.
grievance.
Hold on.
I don't
I've got a
Cadbury's.
grievance. Why does Mr. Tom always find a live show is the time to eat fucking chips?
That's what he
It's
does.
not chips,
man.
it's
That's what he
Cadbury's
does.
buttons.
Buttons.
Cadbury's. He's like
He's eating
he's
a
like
Cadbury.
he can't get a good microphone, but somehow his microphone is only set to chip settings.
Those aren't
Fuck,
chips. They're
no.
like the old lady at the
Cadbury, you
theater.
motherfuckers. Fill your
pulling
foil,
up
motherfuckers.
the hard candy.
It's like, Tom, we're about to start, and he's unwrapping a Werther's. I'm like, wait.
Werther's original.
Who tastes
Fucking bastard.
listen,
Welcome to the
listen.
show, Ryan. It's not
Oh my
even
God.
halftime yet.
No.
I'm glad you suggested that.
Man, got everything. There's no way anybody is dying in the dungeon.
Pack of Werther's.
How much food is in that place? You got wings, you got crisps, you got chocolates, you got
It's
Werther's
just a black hole
originals.
back there. Mo Master is just handing him
Tell me
candy.
about the time that I started unwrapping the foil for the chicken wings.
I know that was ridiculous. He ate chicken wings on the show. I was
It's
like,
actually a thing
Food
what
always
Chris is
tastes-
eating on the show. It's actually a segment.
segment, yeah. It was he's got segments on the show. That's crazy, right?
A segment on every
I
show.
find
he's been on.
ways to worm into every show.
Ryan, at some
Like-
point,
like
we'll
a
let you speak.
virus.
All right, Ryan. What's going on? Ryan is from the Mr. Arsenal podcast. If you guys don't know what that is, we'll put a link to it somewhere. Please go by, subscribe to that channel as well as Gary's channel, The Trip.
More Arsenal talk? God
Of course.
almighty.
We've
God.
kept the
Believe.
Arsenal talk very,
I haven't
very.
even- yeah.
I'm running out of words.
We're
Small,
good. We're good. We
short?
didn't.
Minimal.
Brief.
The words
Minimal.
you're looking for is minimal.
We talked about Salt Bay more than Arsenal, so think about that.
Well, Salt Bay is more interesting than Arsenal.
No.
Right now it is.
Have you seen your show? You've got Arsenal fans on your show, right? Top of the league, and Mr. Tom, near the bottom of the league, is the happiest person on it.
He is happy. I don't understand what's going on. He's why?
He's got Man-
You know, I
Man
guess
City
he's got
when-
crisps.
I'm used to failure, Gary. It doesn't phase me, right? Apart from when I actually thought it was going down, then it phased me. But that's understandable, right? But generally speaking, I'll be sitting there I'm like 15th in the table, and I'm like, Arsenal won 4-2 this week, and I'll go on there Monday night, 12:30, and then it'll be like, I can't believe we conceded 2 goals. Oh, they're defending. Oh my God, we've got to improve.
We'll
We're
put
so better
all
team, we'll
Arsenal
beat
on top.
Top of the
There you
league,
go.
top of the
There
league.
you
I
go.
like it. I
You
like
look
it.
up how
Oh,
I can't even see you down there.
So
Oh,
here's a
it's
question.
Talk like
Here's-
that.
Hang on a minute.
Here's-
Get Mark to the other side.
Yeah, get Mark over here,
It's
bottom of the
talk
table.
like
Well,
that.
The answer to
Talk
your
like
question
that.
is
That's
because
karma.
I'm
Guys.
fat.
Okay, we'll get off of this a little bit. Happy holidays, everybody. Do you guys have Christmas trees at your house, or Hanukkah trees, or Kwanzaa
Yeah,
trees,
there,
or whatever you guys have Christmas trees?
Yeah,
I
I'll
do,
make my
yeah.
mask
Yeah.
to decorate it.
Yeah.
And so there's a big debate in the States of do you put a star on top of the tree, or do you put an angel on
angel.
top of the tree?
Either or.
Either or. It's not a massive thing over. It's a choice of you got
Choice of,
the
yeah.
star,
One
you got
year
the
I make
angel.
my mask to sit on top of the tree.
No. I think you're all absolutely
I've
wrong because
currently- I've
Arsenal
currently
goes
got a
on
scar.
top right now. Come
Ah.
on, Gary. I set you
Arsenal-
up for
I'm-
that.
I'm sorry,
Gary.
Arsenal-
Arsenal-
Arsenal goes on top of everything right now.
I thought
Does that mean?
jokes were-
Does that mean you
yeah.
throw it out mid-January?
We throw it out mid-January. No, I keep mine till about February.
See, that's why I don't
so
put
you
it
throw
on.
it out
I
in
pay
February.
$200 for it, man. I'm gonna fucking. I water
See,
that
that's what-
thing.
You
and I
fell
put-
into that.
You
You
could
fell
keep
into
it
that,
up there
Lolo.
until next
See?
year too, like some
keep it
people
up
do.
till- Yeah, I start adding soil to it because I'm like, oh, this bitch costs a lot of money. I'm now growing a tree in my house. So yeah, that's how
My
it
mum
is.
got her
Come
tree
on,
and-
Ryan, Gary, I set you guys up for that. You guys thought it was a real debate about angel versus star. Come
I
on.
keep forgetting that. this is-
Bandy, I
I've got to
fucking
tell
love
you.
that. Bielsa on top of the tree. I love that. I don't have a tree. For two reasons. One being is that I
It's
find it kind of
Festivus.
wasteful, and secondly, my
How Bunny's
my
alive.
wife is allergic to trees, evergreen trees. So we don't have one.
My wife's allergic to trees.
She's
That's
just
a
like
fucking very. That's a tough life. That is.
well,
a
no.
tough life.
No.
Zombie
I mean, it's,
apocalypse. You
it's-
just
we're
gotta
not-
get rid of her because, like, we live in the forest now.
Actually, we've had that
First one to go.
conversation. We've had that conversation. I was like, if you get bit by a zombie, I'm going to have to kill you.
No. It's not about being bit. It's about like, oh, now we got to live in the forest. And she's like, I'm allergic to trees. You're like, sorry, hun.
No, it being the evergreen on an enclosure in the wintertime, and it's
She comes over every year for Christmas, though. She's just
that's
bust
just like
out
that's just
high.
for a few, that's just sometimes.
She just loves us
But-
that much. Oh shit! Now I feel really even worse.
You could be
No,
disgusting.
you should
so
feel
what's
good
that?
to be
Really?
loved that much.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah. Ryan, let's get back to you. What is if you had something that you wanted to
Have you not
just-
heard it yet, poor lad?
He hasn't had a chance.
Ryan hasn't said hello. I think the only thing
I'm
Ryan's
sorry.
been allowed
I'm
to
sorry.
say
I will
was,
shut my
Welcome
mouth.
"You
to
can
the
have
show,
you
Ryan.
can have a tree, an angel, or a star," and then I cut him off immediately.
Mate, you've got to just
All right.
put your way in here.
Yeah, I'll step away. There you go. Go on, lad. Go on, lad.
Well,
He's speechless.
yeah.
Because he's on the spot.
No, my really
The eyes of the world.
FIFA and the World Cup and everyone's the main thing for me the last week is buying the Salt Bay. It doesn't really bother me. It is as you mentioned, he is what it is. He's friends. He's met the main man. That's why he was there. That's why he was allowed on the pitch. The only reason they're investigating it is because it's made a big deal out by the media. Otherwise, FIFA wouldn't do fuck all as per usual.
Yeah.
But my main grievance from last week was it's the best World Cup final ever.
Absolutely.
Who
Without a
muted
doubt.
Ryan?
I
So-
did not.
Ryan muted himself. I heard best World Cup final ever.
Yeah.
No,
That was the
everyone's
last
saying,
thing I
everyone
heard.
in the media over here is going, it's the best World Cup, because it's 3-all, best World Cup final ever. For 80 minutes, it was the worst thing ever. I'm sitting there, and I'm struggling to stay awake. And Mbappe, non-existent until the last 10 minutes, along with others. And it wasn't. Just because the score was 3-all doesn't mean it was a fantastic final. It's just that Argentina got a bit lazy, and France got a bit lucky in the last 10 minutes and got themselves back into a game. That's about it. And the eventual winners obviously deserved to win, because over the course of the entirety of the match, they were the better team. But everyone's, it's a brilliant final. It's a brilliant final. It was like, I've seen better finals.
It was a brilliant 40 minutes.
Let me ask you this.
It was an exciting 40 minutes, but the first 80, it was the equivalent of the Formula One Monaco Grand Prix, where the car that's in pole position, everyone just follows it around the track and it wins. Because
track's too narrow.
Yeah, exactly. You can't really overtake. So it's very much a processional race, right? So as soon as Argentina went 2-0 up, everything just went into autopilot.
Yeah.
So I understand that your point of it wasn't the best World Cup, but it was, I have to say, from 80 minutes on, the most entertaining.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. But
from there, not best. It wasn't the best football.
The entirety of the match, it wasn't. But for the last 40, as it's been mentioned, the last 40, I'll give you that. But for the majority,
majority, it was a one-horse race.
But when you look back at it, what did we have in that match? We had a blowout. We had a comeback. We had a come from behind win that turned into a comeback again. That turned into a penalty shootout, which turned into saves and misses, and both the heroes making their goal. Like, when you're writing the story of it, it will be written down as beautiful. I get what you're saying, where the first half was fantastic from an Argentinian perspective. The first half of the second half was like, what like both teams just waiting to die. Like,
Can I confess? After the game, I did tweet Kylian Mbappe laughing emoji for what he did when we missed a penalty. So, fuck you.
He didn't miss a penalty.
No, but he lost.
He made 3 penalties.
He scored 4 goals.
I don't care whether he scored 4 goals or not. He lost the World Cup, which was inevitably what he was laughing at. Because England lost. So
I see your point, Ryan. But I think that has a lot. And Lolo reminded me of this. I think it has a lot to do with vocabulary. It was great. Could easily, you could substitute that word entertaining. I thought it was from start to finish a very, very entertaining match, and lived up to it. It was everything that I wanted it to be. I can understand by saying, it was the greatest ever. I haven't seen every World Cup final. But that was pretty damn good. So
it's just a quirk of football, Mark. That's just one of those things. It's just a thing that everyone's going to go for a long time. It will. Like, if someone went to me, what is the most the best World Cup final in 20 years' time, I'm probably going to name this one. But deep down, I'm going to then keep quiet about the part where nothing happened for 80% of the match.
Fair enough, but I think I'm also speaking of it from the United States perspective, where football, or as we call it here, soccer, is not that. I mean, there's 4 or 5 sports that sit ahead of it in popularity and viewership and whatnot, but this match did a lot to help promote football in America because it was so exciting. And you veterans overseas who who have been watching football since you were 4, or however old, we saw at the Dram Shop where we did several live shows. The final to be honest, adults to kids was like 2-1. There were a lot of kids watching that match. A lot of preteens watching that match, and a lot of preteens that were super passionate about it, and
What?
And with
where were they sitting?
They were
Where was
Sunni,
the preteen
Hugo,
section?
the 3 kids,
yeah.
everybody
Mark
on
knows
the
them all by
pool
name.
table,
No,
plus
to be
everyone
fair
that we
to
couldn't
Mark,
see because we weren't exactly looking for kids in the room. We were watching the football match, but I saw a lot of
Jimmy Savile would have been.
I saw a lot of young kids watching the match, and
It's
for
one of
them,
our
this is a
own.
match. This
One
is a
of our
match that
own.
they're going to talk about for a very long time, and they're going to tell their friends back, in when they're young adults, and when that match gets brought up, they're going to say, I remember watching that with my dad at this bar. It was called the Dram Shop. It's not there anymore. It was in Brooklyn, blah, 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 blah. They're going to talk
Brooklyn's
about
not
it.
there anymore.
Brooklyn's not there anymore. I have no
I
idea.
will
It's
say-
been eaten by
Zombie
Queens and
apocalypse.
Coney Island.
That is the way round you want it. Like if all the excitement happened in the first 10 minutes and then the next 80 minutes were shit, it'd be shit. But because the end of the game was what was exciting, is why everyone's saying it was exciting.
It did this.
Well, Mark, you're bringing up. I think a key point is recency bias, and recency bias is what we're dealing with all the time. When the fact that there's a GOAT debate, where people are like, "He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Him and Pele, they're the GOATs." Brilliant timing. I was like, where's this music coming from? But the
That's why we
fact
pay
that
John
you're
the big
saying
bucks.
greatest of all time, and Pele as well, like that doesn't, no, greatest of all time is greatest of all time. That in itself can never be answered, because players play in different times and they play in different, like Pele in today's Premier League may not be the Pele that we had back then. Maradona, same thing. Messi back then
Pele
might not
would
be
be
the same
twice the
fucking
player because he could be
But
protected.
it's all,
Maradona.
He'd be
Exactly.
Did you see the
it's all
amount he gets
speculation.
kicked? The guy got
Maradona-
kicked for
though.
shit.
Maradona's not just the most fouled player in the history of the World Cup. Of the 5 players that have been fouled the most, he is 4 of them in his 4 of his different World Cup appearances. He got kicked
Yeah.
the shit out of.
He's also one of the most foul as well. So
I don't care
there
for
you
that
go.
twat. That was
You
even
know,
though my first World Cup was 82, 86 was the first World Cup I remember watching.
But what I'm saying is, you can say this is the greatest World Cup final ever. Well, you haven't seen all of them and you weren't in that moment as well. Like, how is the first one ever not the best one?
yeah.
There was 14.
We don't know.
But-
We weren't
but-
there. We weren't in the stadium. We weren't watching it.
Exactly.
It
And,
wasn't
and,
on
that's
television.
I think that that's something that I might be getting at,
Yeah,
is
may
that
I ask
there
about,
were
like,
there are kids that were in that pub watching the World Cup who may have been their very first World Cup final.
do you guys think
You know?
the increase of teams is going to ruin the World Cup or be better
Ugh,
for it?
yes, it's.
I
Yes.
think it's gonna really water it down, but I understand why they're doing it.
It's going to ruin it because mainly it's going from groups of 4 to groups of 3 again, which then could lead to, in a match like the last match, corruption back to where it was
Yeah,
before my time.
Yeah.
exactly.
Interesting you
So
say that, Mr.
hold
Ryan.
on. Do they know they're going to 3?
Yeah,
group?
they've
No,
already confirmed
then
it.
what I was about to say, it was thought to be that's what they were going to do. But because of how exciting the final group stage was here, FIFA are having a genuine rethink on how to format it because of the absolute drama that occurred across those
Yeah.
games.
I
They're like,
thought it
"Do
was
we-
going to
do
go
we
to
really
I
wanna
thought it
get
was
rid
going
of
to go to
this?"
5 teams.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to go to 5 teams.
But
The-
the only
the
thing
actual
three
plan
teams does
is-
is it waters a lot of, like, say you fuck up in your first game like Argentina did or whatever. A lot of the big teams have got less opportunity to rescue themselves. So it opens it up for
Well, no,
Sorry.
because two out of 3 go through.
all right.
Yeah.
No, but
Uh,
that starts some shit. I think,
No.
as I posted on Twitter, how many teams are there? There's going to be, what, 48? Something like
There'll
that?
be
Not
48,
quite that
and the
many.
second
Is it that many?
48, yeah, 48, and the second round we'll have 32, and it'll be a straight knockout from then on.
Yeah.
There's only 42 countries.
Exactly. Well, Papua New Guinea, Puerto Rico, they all become new countries.
No, it just what
So
happens
I
is
say
it allows
24
like
groups,
They
24
went to
groups of
Old Guinea and New Guinea.
24 groups of 2.
Does
You
it
play a
mean
home and
Junior
away.
Firpo has a chance at getting to a World Cup if he
Home
goes
goals
back to
count
Dominican
half.
Republic?
Away goals
Hopefully.
count double. If you get 2 yellow cards in your 2 matches, you're suspended unless you play a green card, which is $1 million towards the referee association, and then you come back for the next round, and your goals are now worth double. That's the only way I think it'll actually work.
Can we have a toilet break? Is it cool?
Oh, Ryan just got here. He hasn't said anything.
Can I have a toilet break?
Oh,
poor
he earned
bastard.
his grievances
But
about it
but
being
no,
the greatest
Guys,
ever.
we are at about that halfway point, and it is about time. Ryan, I don't know if your show has a potty break, but we have a potty break because we're old drunk bastards. So everybody, we will be back in relatively 4 minutes. So everybody, if you got to use the toilet, now's the time. Go get a beer. In the meantime, enjoy this video. Mark, after happy hour the other night, one of our Stoop crew members, Scooby D2, he asked me, what was it about your trip to London that like surprised you the most? And I said something.
Beer?
No, I don't know. I said something about fans and things like that, and he goes, no, not about you or the show or anything like that. What is it about? Something about British culture. Was it, the tea, the coffee, the people, the this and that? And I said, oh, I know exactly what it was.
Would I know?
You will know when I say it. Because we were at Bandy's house. One of our Stoop crew members who lives in London invited us to his house. His wife cooks us dinner.
By the way, absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely
man.
fantastic.
We cannot thank you enough for that home cooked meal.
This is gonna get weird, so don't bring them into it too much. So we're there eating our like chicken, jerk chicken or something like that, and Bandy goes, "Oh, I remember the guys telling you about this, but you've never seen it." And he puts on TV Naked Attraction.
Oh my God, I remember that.
And if you're an American and you don't know what Naked Attraction is,
We didn't.
don't Google it on your home computer, I guess. Like, he puts it, it's on television. So it's this show where straight away he goes, oh, it's on. And he puts it on. It's on like channel 2 or 3, like not
BBC 1, 2,
not
3,
paid-
4, whatever.
not
it is.
paid programming. And right away we see this girl with like a little pixie cut. And it's like game show.
She's got the
Yeah,
elven
elf
ears
ears,
on, which was
But
really
it's,
odd.
It's like a game show background, and she's like, "Oh, okay. So here we go. We're going to show you the next one." And they're like, "Julie is a bisexual, non-gender neutral something," and I was like, "What is this?" And then they pan over, and there's like 6 people standing there with these like screens covering.
All
here,
you see is the
and
naughty
dick and
bits.
balls.
All you
Dick and
see is the
balls.
naughty bits.
And she's like, he's clearly a grower, not a shower. And they're showing us his dick on TV.
They're showing both
And then they
genders.
pan over to the girl, and she's like, oh, that's a little more hair than I'm used to, but she's got great vulva. And I'm like, what is?
But this is the complete and only criteria. It's not like Chuck Woolery. Like Chuck Woolery is coming out and goes, so how was that first date? I'll be back in 2 and 2. No, the whole camera is focused on their naughty bits. And that's how they're to decide whether or not they want to date them.
So then they pan over to the next guy, and he's like flipping it. Flip.
He's got the horse stick.
And the host goes, "Oh, well, somebody's getting excited to see you." And then she's like, "Well, he's clearly not a shower." And it was like,
It was absolutely
And once again,
mind-boggling
jerk chicken.
that someone had come up with this idea of a show. I mean, we've seen
Oh my God.
I've seen Naked and Afraid, which is kind of like the Survivor.
and they blur it all because
And they
you
blur
don't
it
want to
because
see
this is
vulva
the-
while they're
this is the-
sun.
This is the States, but this is literally the only thing they focus on. For how you are to decide.
I mean, we didn't watch the
whether-
whole show, so
no, but
who
but
knows?
I've
Maybe
got
they
an
move
idea.
up.
I've got an idea that it's like that's all you see. Then they go on a date, and then you meet the person. You know, because I can't imagine that they've got like sacks on and they walk out on stage.
Oh, their
and
sacks
all there
were
is
on.
is there.
Their sacks were on.
sacks were definitely on.
Anyway, so if that was the thing we found the
most odd of British
interesting, odd, something like that of British culture. And yeah, can't wait to see the American version where they're like, "Ooh, I like those boxer shorts," because they're not going to show anything. Naked Attractions, season 5, coming to the Stoop.
They'll be back in 2 and 2.
We'll just film it like this.
Welcome. Do you prefer Mark or Lolo?
Welcome to the Stoop, everybody.
Well, Lolo's clearly got some issues here. Always a classic. That one. Ryan, are you familiar with Naked and Afraid?
High
Or
point
not Naked
of
and Afraid?
On the Stoop.
Naked Attraction.
Naked Attraction.
Are you familiar with
I
that
think that's
show,
all
Ryan?
right. Oh, I know of the show. Everyone in the UK knows.
Ryan's been on it. Ryan's been on it.
On it.
Not enough money in the world, my friend.
Oh, I think they could offer you enough. They have to offer something.
Some people just like to just go in their birthday suit. That's
You'd go on
There
for Tottenham
is-
relegation, wouldn't you? You would.
You took
In-
Tottenham relegation.
100%.
Roughly around the time of the new year, I don't know if they do it anymore post-COVID, but pre-COVID, there was a contest at a bar in Williamsburg that was called the world's smallest penis, and people would come out with drop trow, but they would have like onion or potato sacks over the rest of their bodies or masks, and you couldn't see their identity, and they came out and they showed their naughty bits, and to be awarded the prize of
How did the mask feel, Mark?
it was a little stifling, but you know what, I'm a grower, not a shower.
I'm a grower.
And it was cold, being winter, so
And it was
perfectly
cold.
understandable.
There was significant shrinkage. Can I, since we're still airing grievances,
Where are we going
can I?
with this?
I don't
Where
know
do
where
we
we're
ever go
going,
with
but
it?
it all started with Naked Attraction.
Off the rails, baby.
I have a grievance, and I got a lot of problems with you people out there, and you're gonna hear it from me. It's those people who try and create that debate of like who's greater, this player or that player, and like the one player that they use as an example played like 30 years ago and was great, and then they compare him to a player that's had like 5 years under their belt and they're having a nice run of it, i.e. Mbappe. You know, I have a problem. Compare players that are done. Compare players that are playing together. But we don't need to hear this debate about players that were well ahead of their time way back when, you know, i.e. like a Pele, who basically everything that you credit to your favorite footballer or who you think is great, they did it first. You know, Pele did it first. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. It pisses me off. It's a waste of it's a waste of my fucking eyeballs of having to read it, and it should be a waste of your fucking time. Compare them when their careers are done, and then you can have an argument. Then you can have a debate.
There you go.
Mr. Tom,
For the
did I
rest
not
of you
say the
wanting to
same
air
thing?
grievances, I need that level of
You
enthusiasm.
have done, yes.
Mbappe
Mark, you're not
has
wrong.
not done what Messi has done.
We're talking about a 23-year-old talking about him being the greatest of all time,
Right.
because he already won a World Cup. Well, just let me say, for
Yes.
example, Erling Haaland, who we're talking about being one of the best players in the game right now, wasn't even at the World Cup because you know
Exactly.
why? His international team is not very good. So
Well, I thought
France,
it was because we didn't expand the World Cup to 48 teams yet.
well, now we need to.
He
because
still wouldn't
wasn't
get
allowed.
in.
You don't think
Because
so?
Europe ain't getting those places. It's to appease the other nations that
Fair
generally
enough.
don't get to qualify for World Cups. Like, for example, basically, there'll be more places for Africa and Asia.
Costa Rica and shit like
But
that.
one of the things,
Yeah.
one of the things that I hated about this World Cup was how much attention was paid to Kylian Mbappe, because he has done what he has done in the last 2 World Cups, and like, oh, he's gonna shatter the record and he's gonna set the
FIFA
bar.
23 poster boy, that's why.
Goals scored once his career is done. I just want to point out to those announcers that we said the same thing, and I might get the person wrong, but he's on the German team and he's toward the end of his career. But I think it's Thomas Mueller.
Yep.
Thomas Mueller scored 10 goals in his first 2 World Cups, and he's been to 5. You know how many he has as of today? 10.
When he was I thought he was 31.
Does
And he
not
was like 24.
damn.
Honestly, he's been around that long. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have just missed that list. You know, that have done great things, great players, and that's all Mbappe is to me at the minute. He's not set the world alight as such. You know, he plays in France.
The thing is, there was a lot of parallels with Pele.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he achieved it, but it was heading that way.
We've been
Yeah.
back into
And France isn't exactly the fountain of youth.
No, but with
What was that, Ryan?
obviously 4 years ago won the World Cup, 18, whatever it was, 18, 19 when they won the World Cup. Last year, where was he for France when they needed him? And they brought in, the Sharks brought in Benzema while he was still on the verge of being, is on trial for whatever he's done off the pitch to make the team stronger. And Mbappe went hiding, went to a penalty shootout against Switzerland. He missed the penalty and knocked them out. Because he's turned up a year late, or just over a year later in the World Cup, people have forgotten about that. He's got to do it because he can't just do it for World Cups. He's got to do it consistently for his national team. I mean, just look at
Ronaldo has.
So did he not do it in this World Cup? Did he not do it in this World Cup then? Because he did, right? So he redeemed himself.
He did the Euros. With the Euros, he didn't do it. But what I'm saying, he's got to do it. He can't just do it for World Cups. He's got to do it for Euros as well. He's got to do it back to back. He can't just turn it when he wants to.
The Arsenal conglomerate is getting a little wedge in between them there.
Anyway.
No, but you're totally right. And for me, the reason why Messi will always sit up there as one of the greatest of all time is because it's not all about him. It's to me, he is the one who makes his team better. And you saw it for France. France was terrible. It wasn't until Mbappe decided to step it up and do some amazing things that France looked different. They didn't look different.
He did nothing against England, though. It was Griezmann who was the one against England.
Yeah.
But that's why the Messi Ronaldo to me is like, who would you rather have on your team? Who would you rather have on your team?
It's a team game, and none of them players will be the players without the other players around them.
But like, why is Zidane not mentioned as one of the greatest of all time?
He is.
Why?
I mean, the name comes up,
who know.
but the name does
not
come
as
up.
the, but like you said, one of his name does come up, but no one expects him to be up there with it. In my opinion, it's generally a big four. It's Maradona, Pele,
Ronaldo,
Messi, Ronaldo. That's the big four, right? and then you get a lot of players just behind them. They're not bad players. That's not me saying that Zidane is not in the big four. Isn't me saying Zidane shit, because he's not. He's clearly not.
No.
But he's not in the big four.
I think the thing with Zlatan is this.
Ronaldo.
Just seeing what I've seen in interviews and reading about him in the paper and watching him on the pitch, I think he thinks to himself, I don't give a fuck who you think the best is. I think I'm the best.
Well, it's always
and
been
I
that.
don't give a shit from the rest on.
I said
Hold on,
once,
quick
I said once, I don't see the
question.
thing in Zlatan, and then he scored 4 against
Yeah,
England.
hold on, Mark. I need to ask you a question. Are you talking about Zlatan or Zidane?
Zlatan.
Okay, that's a much different. Yeah. Zlatan is not one of the greatest of all time.
He does not give two shits.
No,
but he doesn't give two shits who is called the greatest. He doesn't care who's the greatest of all time because in his mind,
he's not in that conversation.
In his mind, he
not in that
thinks he's the
conversation.
greatest.
But
No,
Zlatan's not in
I admire
that
that he
conversation.
thinks he is. No, I admire that
He thinks he is.
because he
I
should
love
think
that
he
thinks
is.
he is.
All of them
I was
should
better
think
than
they are.
Zlatan. I was better
Now-
than Zlatan. I believe that.
No. To me, Zlatan is the greatest of all time.
I believe
of
you were
hype
tweeting
men.
saying it.
He is his biggest hype man. And Zlatan to me was, imagine Zlatan came up during social media, because he came up at the beginning of social media. Zlatan was social media before there's social media. There he is, that motherfucker. I love Zlatan Ibrahimovic for his trash talking, for his shit starting, and for him talking in third person, he speaks in the third person.
Oh, he's a
first person,
showman.
third
isn't he?
Yes.
That's what he is.
I love everything about
He's
it.
a showman personality, but he also does produce, right? He
Oh, the
also
boy
does
scored some
produce, right?
goals.
Yeah, at the levels that require him to be on that top four, no. But he does produce.
Yes,
So he does
that
back
I
up. He
agree.
does back
You
up his
don't
words
play
with
for every
actions.
top team in
Yeah.
Europe if you shit, do you? Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
What I will say is the frequency with which he jumps sort of from Barca to Inter, like Juventus, things like that,
Yeah.
says that there is obviously something about him that people within the club don't like,
Yeah.
because, like, say, there's a player in England, he's Welsh, but called Craig Bellamy, and he was basically like, he would have been seen as similar to like a little Messi type, like could do wondrous things with a ball. Problem was he played for about 17 clubs in his career because couldn't get along with anyone.
Yeah,
hampered his career massively.
Yeah. So
The
I guess
most-
now we have a big four, all right? No more greatest of all time. No more goats. We've got.
You're always going to have a difference of opinion, which that's what it's all about, the debate. There's never going to be a solid answer. You're never going to get
that's
that.
what makes this sport so engaging, is that
What gives us a
you
reason
can,
to do
even
the
over
show.
a period of 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, you can find anything in anything to debate about it. And there will be always someone that thinks something different to what you think. Always.
Here's what I love about Zlatan.
I'm always right.
Zlatan understands that his number one job is not to play football well. His number one job is to be an entertainer. That's what they're getting paid for, is entertaining. Scoring goals is entertaining. Doing a bicycle kick, entertaining. Talking shit is entertaining. And to somebody who has the ability to score a lot of goals and to score wonder goals, it's entertaining as shit. So that's why I say, if he came up right now, he would have the largest Instagram account. He would have the largest, because he'd just be shit talking nonstop. Look at his start with the LA Galaxy. When he came out and showed up for his first match, they didn't start him. They didn't start him for the first match. They were down a goal, 70th minute or so. They put him in. He scores a header right away, levels him up. 2 minutes later, they pass him the ball about 60 yards out, and he smashes like a side, like Bruce Lee style kick from 50 yards out and scores and just turns around like this. The fucking Russell Crowe, are you not entertained? He just turns
That's a
around like
great
this.
scene.
And I'm like,
It is a great scene.
it was a great scene, that match.
I've
He's
seen
a-
the
It was
goal.
like-
Yeah,
He's what they call he's a bad man, you know.
it is, but it is. That's what it is, and that's why I
He didn't have
hate
to do
teams. I
anything
hate
else.
teams that turn up and park the bus because it's not entertainment. I don't care about
That's
your
why,
three
like,
fucking
how
points
could
and
you
your
be a
money and your
Spurs
shit.
fan? How could you be a Tottenham fan? Tottenham fans are talking about this is their best start to a Premier League season in forever, and they're just being eclipsed by what we're doing. But I'm like, watching them, are you happy watching them? Are you excited watching them? How are you feeling during your matches? To me, even when we lost against Manchester United, I was like, that whole match, I was entertained and enthralled, and I was in it, and I had this passion going. Watching a Spurs match, like, how can you can be like, okay, we'll get it
Tottenham
eventually.
play League One football. It's just hoof it up to the big fella up top.
Yeah.
But they do it from minute. What is egregious about it? My grievance with this is they do it from minute one. It's actually their plan. It's not we're losing in the last minute. Quick, all right, we've got Harry Kane up front. Lump it up to him. It's like, no, you've actually spent all week in training with all the players you've got, and your plan is just to bypass the midfield and hopefully plant it over the top of them and let your fast lads run onto it. It's embarrassing. Embarrassing. And you pay Antonio Conte about 50 million a year. I'm not right there, but you pay him 50 million a year for the privilege. I could fucking tell them to do that. They wouldn't listen to me. Why would they? I've got no coaching badges. But
All right,
you get my point. Fuck 'em.
Ryan actually has something to say.
I was going to say because literally, we was at the North London derby, and straight away they kicked off, and the first thing they did was pass it back to I think it was Dyer, and he just hoofed it to the far corner just because, and that's all they did, and they just sat back and it's like, you have the ball, and we'll sit back and try to do a counter attack on you against Arsenal this season. They do it to everyone, as Tom says.
Yeah, they got away with it against us. We gave them the game. That pissed me off, that game.
That's what I'm saying, but it's clear the wins they do get by doing that, it's not by brilliance or of their own doing.
It's just by individual errors from the other team or something. Yeah.
They kind of wear you down with like boredom and stuff, and then you just fall asleep at the wheel for a little bit, and that's when they take advantage because it happens.
Yeah, they take advantage of one moment, 2 moments. And that was why I felt I could go to the bathroom during the North London derby. I was like, okay, nothing's happening. I'm going to the bathroom. I come back. Kane got a penalty. We're level. I'm like,
yeah, see, that was your fault. They
weren't doing anything.
That was your fault. Don't do it again.
He'll score.
I think there was like 6 or 7 people.
It worked.
I think there were 6 or 7 people that turned to you and said that. That's the last time you go to the bathroom. But it was ordained. I mean, Lolo said that Tottenham would score on a Harry Kane penalty.
Harry Kane penalty. Yep. So I got that right. Ryan, you were there at that match. We were there as well.
Yeah, I was in North Bank Block 4 lower tier. So I was at the end where Jesus and Xhaka scored the 2 goals in second half.
We were at the opposite end. We were in the clock end. We were right under the big screen. So everybody would turn around and look at something, and we're like, "Oh, they're looking at us." No,
we were at the right of the Spurs fans.
Yeah, you're
giving them shit the entire time.
Literally, the last row.
That was really empty.
We were banging the wall.
That area got really empty really quickly.
They thought it was a fire drill.
But we learned a lot of fantastic chants. We learned a lot of fantastic chants that we continue to sing to this day.
You've got one chant. Super Mick Arteta. That's shit.
No, we've got a billion
That's all you hear on the telly is that shit song that you nicked off some other club.
And what's funny is the Super Mick Arteta chant has like
is wrong.
They still say, yeah, it's wrong. They still say Kieran in the back, Gabby in attack, Arsenal all the way to Champions League, and we're like, well, Kieran's not playing.
That's
wrong.
the best thing in it, though.
No,
Right?
no,
It doesn't end like the Leeds one did, where Bielsa will win the Football League. It's Champions League. It's not even winning the league. It's a top 4 finish. That's
the thing. I asked, when are we going to change it?
It's the league or nothing.
It will change to win the Champions League.
Yeah,
I don't.
That's where I want to
season
change it
wanting Leeds to finish top
Arsenal
4.
all the way to win them. I'm going to say Willie in the back, Gabby in attack, Arsenal all the way to win the league. Like, let's go. Let's change it. But my favorite is he spits when he talks. He spits when he talks. Harry Kane. He spits when he talks.
For me, it's not so much the song, but it's the chant of what do we think of Tottenham?
Shit.
What do we think of shit?
Tottenham.
Thank you.
That's all
That's all right. Wait, Tottenham. Or we won the league at Shide Hart Lane. We won the league at Shide Hart Lane. We won the league at the shithole. We won the league at Shide Hart Lane.
Have you been to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
No.
Not
because
yet. You'll have seen it, will you? You'll have seen it.
In a while.
We'll have seen it, but
Actually, we were going to try and see
Unbiased,
the
what do you
Saints
think?
Vikings instead of the Leeds Aston Villa match, just so that Lolo can piss on Tottenham Stadium.
Nice.
Can you do the electronic lights and sounds from the box?
Pew, pew, pew.
I was wondering if it does the talking thing, but I don't really want to take it out just in case.
This is mine.
Don't
This is
do
mine.
it.
Give it
I
to me.
take it, it's a collectible.
My son needs this. I am a bad
I've been
father.
displaying it in the dungeon, but yeah, I watched the movie earlier as well, just to.
I'm
get
sure
more
your
jacked
guests
up.
are thrilled you've been displaying that in the dungeon.
No one. The only person I know that hates Jingle All the Way is Lolo.
I don't hate it. Wait, where does that come from?
Are we going to do a quick version of Betting in the Dark?
Oh shit, is that up?
Yeah.
Do we have that?
36
John,
minutes ago.
John, I'm on holiday. I don't know if you've noticed.
That started when? 3 years ago?
3 years ago, about.
All right, you want to do Betting in the Dark?
I don't have my phone, but
Let's
Mr.
do
Tom,
betting on the dark.
Betting in the dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
Greetings,
Still
everyone.
the number
Cyril,
one intro.
Cyril wishes you all a great Christmas and a happy holiday and a crazy Kwanzaa and the other one that I've forgotten. Hanukkah, that's the one.
Festivus.
Yeah. Everyone knows Festivus.
and a solemn
also,
Ramadan.
I've got another character to introduce. Derek 2, the Christmas Penguin.
Who?
Derek 2?
Derek 2, the Christmas Penguin.
Welcome, Derek. 2.
Because there's 5 of them, and I named them all the same, so I didn't forget. Because I only come out when the Christmas decorations come out. Anyway, so ho ho ho, what do we have for them this week, Derek 2? Yes, we have Tottenham, the Spurs, the shit, the filth, to draw 1-1 at Brentford. Why have I gone 1-1? Well, that's simply because the last 5 times these teams have played, both teams have not scored. One has scored or the other has scored, but not both at the same time. We're due, baby. And I've got
Is Ivan Toney
penalty.
playing?
See,
He's
that's
not in
the
trouble
question
yet.
that I have.
They're still trying to figure out what he's done yet. They're still adding. They're still tallying up all of the infractions.
Yeah, they've added another 30 to his, but he's not banned yet.
Can I ask a question here related to that?
No.
To
He
that?
has till January
No, I'm
9
going to.
to reply.
Wasn't there an Arsenal player that was implicated in this case last year? Wasn't there like some sort of betting thing with? it was never released who it was, and we had it was Shaka because his red card was unnecessary in this match.
It turned out it was the referees.
Yeah, it turned out to be the referee in that game.
Okay. So the referees were involved,
cheating
and this becomes an even bigger scandal.
Yeah, so Ivan Toney's trying to turn it around. No, those 645 cases were all referees betting against me. Those bastards.
Those goals I put above the net and came off the crossbar, they were coincidental.
This man should never be left unsupervised. I love that every week. No, but seriously, Harry Kane's obviously going to score the next 46 penalties he takes because they will be of no benefit to me whatsoever.
No, I actually think he's going to bottle it. Next penalty, I think he's going to.
I don't think so.
The crowd's going to boo him.
It'll be all. Look at him, nerves of steel and all that shit. Because they'll love to crawl right up his ass.
Yeah, that's what I want right there. 2-1 Brentford.
Isn't it ironic that both Harry Kane and Chris Waddle played for Spurs?
And they both scored a penalty for England.
I won on betting
crazy that Gareth Southgate
I should have mentioned I won last week. Just saying.
Which one?
I won on the World Cup final.
Yeah,
I did as well. I was going to ask, was the bet that I placed, was that a bet in the dark one?
Yes.
Mbappe to score, Messi to score,
I did
Argentina to
win.
lift.
Yeah,
I wasn't surprised.
And then there was one more.
This is the segment that Ivan Tony is actually watching.
How much did that win you? And you only gave it 100 euros? Cheap bastard.
We're small potatoes
Lolo's
here,
cash
John.
out price is the cheap bastard. Morocco, the cash out price was terrible.
I did win almost $20 on a $1 bet, but we're small potato. I would love to be able to bet 100.
I also I was very close to getting the 4-3 that I jokingly predicted as well. It was very close, very close. But
you were.
Anyway,
You were. I think I took that bet as well.
Obviously, I've gone Liverpool. They've been there since they lost 7-2, but still, I've got a feeling that Liverpool are going to dish out a few beatings to Villa because of that. Salah scores because Salah obviously hasn't played for a bit, so bit of hunger there. And Coutinho just to get sank against his old team can turn 1 into 33.
Is Coutinho back active? That's the question there.
If he's not, then
he wasn't starting. Well, you'd hate for him to come on late.
I must admit, I don't know, but I didn't want to do Ings. I didn't want to do Ings or Watkins because they're cunts.
Ings actually wouldn't be a bad shout. Watkins, I think he's hurt again, but I haven't checked the injury list.
I will say though, I did these yesterday, so in fairness, they are usually listed. Like if they are injured, they're usually not listed. So if things have changed in between,
and plus Coutinho to score is actually rated pretty. It's not the best odds. It's like 250 or something like that.
What's that? Derek 2 finds your comment funny, Rob Cohen.
Derek 2?
Why are you lying? Yeah.
I thought you said their all name is Derek. How can you get that? How does Derek 2 work?
Well, I numbered them based on the order that I received them. Derek 1 was 2010. Derek 2, no, sorry, Derek 1 was 2008. Derek 2 is 2010, see?
2010. 2 year wait, what happened to 2009? Derek's mother didn't conceive.
We don't talk about 2009.
Oh my God.
Thought you'd be surprised. This is your show.
All graphics. Hello. So I've done the match that is the semi-main event of the week. the Leeds Man City game's taking place on my birthday. Just point that out. Anyway.
Happy birthday to you, Tom, on the 28th.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll be turning 412.
You're still a spring chicken then.
Certainly am. Basically, the way I think this is going to play out is I think West Ham are going to go 1-0 up, and then I think Arsenal are going to overturn it because let's face it, it's West Ham. And it's Arsenal. So, I do reckon they'll score because you have deficiencies, but you are overall stronger than them. Therefore,
deficiencies where? Not in the back line.
The deficiencies that you all talk about for about 6 hours on a weekly basis.
They're not with their defense.
6
They're
hours.
with the
I think
offense.
if you had the total YouTube average of Arsenal whinging about their defence weekly, they've got a lot of shows of Arsenal.
People want to talk about Arsenal. Who are we to say no? All right? That's what they want to talk about. They want to talk about Arsenal. We let them.
I don't blame you, Gary, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and be told we've got no deficiencies when I've listened to many shows where I know you have. So,
scoring. Yes, you're right.
Well, you've got one deficiency. You haven't got Jesus anymore.
He wasn't scoring. That was a deficiency.
We can work
He's a very selfless player and created a lot of goals for his selfless play.
But the scoring was a deficiency. Doesn't mean he doesn't do other things, right?
Yeah, but in the last 3-4 months, he scored the same number of goals as Patrick Bamford. So,
but his team.
Again,
where's
that's
his
not
team?
my opinion.
Where's
That's
his
not my
team?
opinion.
Look at Lolo. Where's Lolo right now? Lolo, where are you?
He's sitting there wondering what
He's
he did in life to
top.
deserve
Look
this.
at Lolo. He's at the top. Where
He's
are
sitting
you?
there saying, "Who spiked the eggnog?"
No, I'm just sitting in my
John,
chair.
remove that. I'm trying to place this bet here. Thank you.
No, listen, right away I was like, no way. What are you talking about, Tom? But then when Tom said it, not Tom Selleck, when Tom said it, West Ham getting that first goal, I went, you know what? That could actually happen.
I'm telling you, this could happen.
That could actually happen, and Bowen is one of those little. Bowen is their Diogo Jota. Mo Salah doesn't kill us.
He's not had a great season,
for Liverpool.
to be honest.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Mo Salah doesn't kill us for Liverpool. Jota kills us for Liverpool.
Yeah,
it's
no
those
doubt.
type of players that do something, and right away they could get something and be like, "Oh, we got this. We're not as terrible as everybody says." And then we're like, "Calm down, guys. We got this." And then we lock it down and we go through and we end up winning 2-1. I could actually see that now.
I have a quick question here. I'm not able to place this bet. So I've got Arsenal the correct score 2-1. I got Bukayo Saka score or assist. And
Mark, I can tell you why. In
Please.
FanDuel, the score or assist is not parlayable. So if you do a score or assist, that's a one-off bet. It's not.
I have a grievance to it.
You can't add it to your parlay.
I have a grievance.
So I would say if you're going to do it, I would put Saka to score and Bowen to assist.
My grievance is that Mr. Tom has left.
Other way as well.
My grievance is Mr. Tom has left during his own segment.
Yeah.
Well,
probably because he's tired of my shit.
He heard me saying that he said something right for once, and he's like, "I'm out. I'm done." Ryan, what are our deficiencies? Mr. Tom is talking about deficiencies. What are our deficiencies that this guy's talking about?
Fucking, I imagine a house. It's just full of. It's
Ben,
like
your name's not Ryan.
Sorry, I'm just looking at Mr. Tom.
No, I think he means like weaknesses. Like he talks about Jesus about the amount of goals he scored, but he does have a thing. Like Gary says, he does have things. He does link up the play. He does create moments that lead to goals. He does get assists, and we are going to lose. We have lost that for what, a month and a half, possibly. He's back by what's been reported on social media about mid-February. But that's where we've got Smith Rowe coming back. We've got Martinelli coming from a World Cup, so we can mix things up. We don't have to just play Eddie. Everyone's going, "Oh, it's got to be Eddie." Yes, he is a striker, but you can mix things with other players coming back from injuries like Smith Rowe. You can test, especially like Oxford in the FA Cup. Put Martinelli down the middle. Give him a minute. See how he does there. Do a few testers. Keep the opposition guessing. Otherwise, we're going to go into these games and go, well, we know Eddie's starting because he won't risk it, and then we'll get caught out eventually. And I think Arteta's smart enough to realise that he has to mix it up. And I don't about West Ham. I don't see West Ham scoring on Boxing Day. Then they've got injuries themselves to their attacking force. Yeah, you mentioned Bowen, but all season he's gone missing. And yeah,
I don't know if I agree with
that. I don't see a big issue, as big an issue as everyone's making about Jesus. Yes, he's as I mentioned, he has contributed in other ways as well. He doesn't score goals; he creates them. Does massive build-up play. We do lose that, but we're not a one-man team like we used to be. It's more of a collective. If I mentioned the other day, I was doing a podcast with Paul Davis. It's to a point now where it's such a team collective where Saka, for the first 2-3 years of his career at Arsenal, was basically carrying this team on his back as a kid. It's to a point now where he can have a bad game, and you won't notice it because everyone else is doing their bit, and we're still scoring goals. We're still getting assists and creating stuff, even if he's having an off game. That goes to everyone else in the team.
So Ryan, I've mentioned on the show that I did that I said 4 reasons why I don't think Arsenal will collapse because of Jesus. I feel like Arteta has created, and his whole goal is to create the beast with many faces, the beast with many heads. That Arteta is not interested in signing an Erling Haaland, a 30-goal striker. What Arteta is interested in is 5 10-goal scorers. And that's what he's proving it to be right now with Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Xhaka, Jesus. Now Jesus is injured, but we have potentially 5 players who can get 10 plus goals. But that's our thing is you can't take out one of our players and then we're dead. We're not Spain where we have one game plan. We have multiple games.
I like Arsenal this year, and you're right, they're not a one-man team, and goals come from all over the pitch. And I think they will mix it up. I think Eddie needs to hit the ground running if he gets a start straight away. And if he does hit the ground running, then maybe he gives Arteta another option of whether to keep him or not mix it up. But look, I don't think you're going to have to worry.
I would say
drop points.
I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie does not start against West Ham. Everyone's banking on Eddie starting up front. Now, I would not be surprised if there was Vieira out left and Martinelli up front.
Right. I don't know.
And you're like, wait,
I could see that happening, but I want to address something that Lolo just said, and he's talking about like you don't want a Haaland who's going to score 30, 40 goals this season. You want a group of individuals who will score 10 plus goals, and I can appreciate that because that becomes a defensive nightmare for a lot of teams, where you don't know where that shot's coming from. And we've seen the brilliance of that strategy. I've seen some really great build-up to some goals, especially one, I don't know what match it was, but I think it was Saka to Martinelli, and Martinelli with a fucking beautiful little toe tap on a slide. I'm not sure who that is, but don't you think that could also become a detriment because there is no one individual that you feed the ball to and get it to the goal? To me, this can create a bit of indecision. Should I shoot or should I pass rather than you're the main guy and you're putting the ball right into the net.
Mark, you're actually like, I want to disagree with everything you say every time you open your mouth, but no,
that is the basis of our show.
I'm going to disagree because you know what? No. You got
Mark,
11 guys on the pitch, and you've got 4 or 5 attackers, and guess what?
Gary,
they all can score. So what's the problem with that? You have
Gary,
one attacker.
That is our problem.
Day, you struggle.
What he's saying is that leads to our problem, right?
But
Gary,
it's no different
on those days when we played Juventus. We had 22 shots, no goals. They had 2 shots. We had 2 own goals. That's the thing. That's where I hear what you're saying, Mark. I don't think it's going to be a problem because we're working that shit out. And so I hear what you're saying, Gary. Like, no, we've got so many guys we have to stay hungry to score those. So it can't be like, oh, you score. Then you become Spain. Nobody's shooting.
Because we can't be talking about that and then go, you know what, we need to have players that are getting at least 10 to 15 goal contributions in a season. If they're not all, if it all spread out, we've seen it and we've been winning this way. So, if you have a Haaland, you just feed him. He'll put it away, right? But we don't have a Haaland. We don't need one, and it costs a lot of money for a Haaland. You got a De Bruyne there. That costs a lot of money as well. We don't need that either.
Gary,
and you didn't pay money for Jesus?
I believe Pep Guardiola buying Haaland, not Pep Guardiola, City buying Haaland will be their downfall this year because they're moving away. Arteta is playing Pep ball. No out-and-out striker. Goals come from everywhere. And this season, they go with Haaland. And yes, Haaland is going to score a shit ton of goals. But right now, those matches where they fail, you can tell they're forcing it in. They feel like they can't shoot. Bernardo Silva feels like he can't shoot. Gundogan feels like he can't shoot because they should be feeding. And that could end up being their detriment.
In my mind, if that's the horse that you want to ride, that's a pretty strong horse because we've seen what Haaland can do. And earlier in the show, we kind of frothed a little bit about the Kevin De Bruyne to Haaland connection. I don't think City bought Haaland as much as Haaland bought into City. He just decided, he's like, I'm coming to you, make it happen. But I think any team, including Arsenal, would take someone that you could rely on for 20, 25, 30 goals a season.
It changes your entire... It changes your...
It doesn't, because I don't believe that the team around Haaland believes that, well, I can't shoot because I'm obligated to give it to Haaland. Fuck no. That dude's like 22, 23 years old. You think Bernardo Silva really... You think he believes that he has to feed him?
Yeah.
If he has a clear shot at the goal, I don't. I disagree.
But that's what you just said. You're saying that he has to do that. You're saying that he's supposed to be the number one scorer on that team.
No. I'm saying is having that individual there that you can rely on for that kind of goal total is one thing. But the surrounding players, like Lolo is saying, is like, well, I'm handcuffed. I have to feed this guy. I don't believe that's the case. If Kevin De Bruyne sees an open shot, he has the leg. Is he going to defer to Haaland? No, he's going to take the shot.
Here's a thing just to add to this. When Haaland had a brief injury, he couldn't play. Look how Man City was struggling to score without him this season compared to when he has played this season. So they are changing,
and as opposed to last season without him.
In one sense, when he does play, it benefits them. But when he doesn't, they completely struggle to score. Remember, it was shut to Nest or something away. They drew 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, you can't like lose. I mean, yes, Jesus and Sterling aren't Haaland, but they did contribute a lot of goals. Right? They did contribute goals when they did play. anybody would take the goals that they contributed. They didn't miss a lot, but they did contribute. Most teams will take whatever they got because that's more than they would get from some of their players, right? And so for me, Harlan, one man, like you said, one man goes down. De Bruyne can probably win it by himself as well because that's why he's De Bruyne, right? He can win a game. We've seen him win a game. They're struggling. They need a goal. He takes a free kick or a kick from distance and he puts it away because that's what he can do. But like I said, that's because they have the numbers there. But in reality, Harlan they've got him right where they want him. That's how they're playing.
I think this is something that I've had an issue with.
I'm not good with names.
When people are talking about the Premier League and like, oh, what's wrong with City? I mean, they are in second place. Yeah, they're 5 points back of Arsenal, top of the table, everybody. But what I would say is this: is that one of the things that the people that I don't want to say slagging, but criticizing City.
What was that, Ryan?
John?
Better than bottom.
That's what I thought you said.
Absolutely, and I'll be the first to admit it. But at the end of the season, it won't be there, and I'll put money on it.
Nope, you'll be second.
Here's where I was at. Here's where I was at. Is that one of the things that that people aren't saying about City is that for the last 2-3 seasons they've been kind of slow starters. We've seen them start out the season in the middle of the table, and we know where they end up. And I don't think the season is going to be any different. Holland or no, yeah.
Well, Mark, here's the difference to me. Last season and the season before, anyone who had the ball for City would shoot at any time. They would just fucking spray it. This season they seem a bit more contained?
Do you not think that the teams that have had more players in the World Cup are going to tire quicker towards the end of the season?
Nah, I don't think in the end the World Cup's going to matter that much.
I do.
I think it will for the ones.
I do.
For the players that played,
I think
a lot. It will. Yeah. For the ones that went, like bulk players that went but barely played, it won't have an effect.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, I mean, for me,
even though he left early, he played 3 games. So I think there'll be a bit of a catch up there eventually with him.
I mean, you have players that have been just plugging along and crushing and crushing and crushing.
You're going to find a few still tired now.
The case that I would bring up is Richarlison. I mean, Richarlison plays in the Olympics. He plays in the Euros. He's playing Premier League. He goes into the World Cup. I mean, his hamstring injury, I believe, is fatigue. And I think there's going to be players that are going to continue, and they're going to hit this point where they're just going to be like balls tired. We're going to see this fatigue, because is there really a winter break this season?
There is.
You've made a bunch of good points, Mark, but I have to echo Ben's question here. Who did he play for in the Euros?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant the Copa America.
We're going to find out.
We just have to talk.
You're right. I meant Copa America because I don't watch it. I watch the Euros, but it was the Copa America. But the same,
I know.
The idea,
waddle on your
face. The idea is there. He has played
right on his face.
more than his share of matches in the last 3 years. I mean, this man is he's fucking worn out, I think. And I think I think there are players that are gonna be continued.
But he plays for Tottenham, so he doesn't have to do
that.
much.
Doesn't matter in this.
They're literally
why do we keep talking about that team? Matter. I just really no more about that team. Nothing.
Well, I'll tell you what. You guys can have another bio break, and the 4 of us can just talk about it and say,
I know you're using Richarlison as a example, but that could be said for anyone because since this whole pandemic, the COVID situation started back in 2020, all the players were that same thing because they had that 3-month break of no football. Then they had 90 days in England to play every single remaining game, plus the FA Cup if they're still in it. Then they had a month, not even a month off, then a whole season. Then they had the Euros, 2 to 3 weeks break, whole last season. There's the first proper pre-season they've had up summer-wise last year. Then, as the season gets underway, 14 games in, you've got a World Cup. In terms of normality now, that's not going to come until next season now because of all this.
Right.
I think been going on for the last few years. So eventually, you are using that one as that player that said I've been named because he plays for that team. Using him as an example, you could say that for Saka, you could say that for Smith Rowe, you could say that for Jesus, Saliba, who've been loaned out to other clubs. You could say that for Bamford, for Leeds. You could say that for Jota, Salah. That they eventually burn out. It's just a matter of being managed right by their managers.
Well, I don't think I would say that about Bamford because he's been riding the pine for like the last season and a half. It's like it's almost as if his lordship was a curse.
Lord Patrick into this.
Well, because I thought Ryan brought up Bamford.
I mentioned that. I was just saying that for all the players that
and saying that he was tired and
2020,
he's got fatigue. That's the only reason why I brought that up was
any set of players
Bamford
could get caught out with fatigue eventually down the line. It's just a matter of if it does happen, they've been managed wrong or they've overdone it themselves.
Right.
And if they don't, it's because they've been coached and managed right. But in terms of getting back to normality and that not being an issue, it's only going to come after this season when we get into the summer.
I think so. I think so. One of the things that I think was
time Tony out.
One of the things that I think is going to, because this particular, and again, I've only watched just a few. I don't know over the course of its history, but this particular World Cup seemed a lot more physical and intense, particularly with the reluctancy of the officiating to throw yellow and red cards out there. That I think there's going to be a lot of players or a lot of participants in this World Cup that are going to deal with fatigue, and that they may not be so in form once the leagues, whatever league they participate in, start up again. Oh my God, it's like Santa's playhouse.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room here?
No, we're just going to leave that alone. Mark, but you're talking about
they're not
literally
elephants,
6 or 7 players in the Premier League who have played that much. Now let's talk about the contrary to that. Let's look at a player like Gabriel Martinelli, who played one whole match. He came on a few times. He's fine, right? He's not exhausted. He hasn't got the shit kicked out of him. I feel like he's going to come back hungrier than ever. He's like, I got my first call up.
For Arsenal's sake, I absolutely hope so.
No. But as an example of that type of player, where you got called up, but you weren't a starter, you weren't on the pitch. Let's look at Saliba as well. Do you think Saliba's tired? No, he's rusty, if anything. And you know what? He's going, fuck this. I'm better than all these fucking clowns. I feel like you're right. There's those people who are going to be tired. No, you're not. I feel like there's those players who are gonna be tired, but then there's also a whole lot of players who are like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna show them how good I am."
Lolo. Can I smoke?
All right, so I'm gonna just before anybody, I'd like
let's
to
go
step
backstage.
Yeah,
I'd like to just you bastard.
No,
now that I've got
Mark.
something to say. No, I got something to say.
Keep going, Mark. Keep going, Mark.
My question is this: is when you
all right, that's it, guys. We're all out of time.
Wow, this is the first time I'm
cutting him off.
This is the first time I'll defend Mark.
Look, Look. Just give me.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute.
I got a grievance. Can I do my grievance now?
We have an assembly of the greatest players of any country put on a World Cup team. And if you don't make the pitch during a match, don't you think that you're put through your paces during practice? Do you not think that Martinelli was sitting on the opposing side taking on the starting lineup of fucking England's national team? You don't think that's a workout? You don't think that's being put through the paces? You think you just sat on the pine and rested and go, oh man, I can't wait to get to Dubai? No, Martinelli fucking worked his ass off.
You
ain't no doubt about that. Just because he walked away unhurt.
Did you see Calvin Phillips?
Mark, you're taking both of these arguments though. You're saying they've been fouled. No,
Mr.
Mark,
Director, roll those credits, damn it.
No, Mark, before you go, you've been saying these players, it's been the most physical that we've seen in a while. They've been fouled more. They've been blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Blah. That's not I get what you're saying. Even if you're not starting like Willem Saliba, he's playing against Mbappe every day in practice because he's not on the starting rotation. So he's playing on the opposite side. And in practice, he's up against Mbappe every day. That's what you're saying, or
hey,
no?
Gary.
No, that's not.
How are you, buddy?
Wait, what I'm saying.
Good.
What I'm saying is.
Where can people find you, Gary?
They can find me on DWTT on YouTube. We'll be on actually tomorrow, since it is Christmas Eve. We will be a little bit earlier than usual, so we're going to actually be on at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So I think that's 3 p.m. to you guys across the pond. So if you have a little bit of time,
to be even earlier. I was like, no, mate, I'm at the buffet.
Yeah, no, I have people
coming
to
the Golden Corral.
So see it. Check us out then.
I would have asked you for something similar to promote your show, but of course, Lolo doesn't fill me in on these things, so I'm clueless. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, and you'll see us on Mondays. On Monday, when we talk about all the games that happen on Monday, so check us out. We have a lot of fun. We have some guests that come. We had Sean Connery come like months ago. I haven't seen him in a while though. Maybe he'll come and show his face, but we'll see. But yeah, check us out. Thank you.
That means Lolo. I've not got a puppet that's Sean Connery or anything. He means Lolo's doing a voice.
I didn't say that. I said Sean Connery.
Yeah. I'm just saying. No, but they might have thought that I have a Sean Connery puppet. Because let's be fair, would it be the most surprising thing?
Not from you.
There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't want people to sit there and think that I've got one.
We know you have one, so it's okay. But we know you got one.
I'm going to start sticking stickers in the mental homes because they probably get us.
All right, guys, that's it for the show for the night. We are at 2 hours and 12 minutes. Very good show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be backstage for a little while. I've just posted in the comments the backstage link. If you want to join us backstage and talk some smack, I'm talking to you, Mo Master, talking about Vinny Jr., who did fuck all.
Yeah, he was shit in the World Cup.
Vinny Jr. was fuck all in the tournament. And Mr. Tom's Penguins are there talking. No, Vinny Jr. was fine. The problem is they don't play towards his strength. So come backstage and tell us all about that. Tony Turner, I expect you to click that link as well. Guys, thank you for joining us. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas Eve tomorrow. Happy Festivus.
Merry Christmas,
Mark
everybody.
and I will be live from my party tomorrow.
Merry Christmas. Don't follow me on Twitter.
Follow him on Twitter. Follow him.
Good night, everybody.
Pick the clues. And
right,
expose him.
Click the link and join us backstage.
For the fraud he is.
Have a good night. We will see y'all in a few days. Peace.